In August 2025, the streets of Melbourne were filled with tens of thousands of Australians, waving flags, holding banners, and chanting slogans demanding tighter immigration controls.
We're not a racist country, we just want a good calibre of people in here.
The energy was raw, emotional, and loud. People spoke about housing prices, job competition, and the cost of living. But a noticeable theme in the chants and online discussions was frustration with Indian immigrants.
I think we're being overrun by Indians and Muslims. Yeah. I'm not against migration altogether, okay? I'm just over the fact that we're bringing so many in at the same time.
Some protesters specifically highlighted the rising number of Indian students and temporary workers, pointing fingers at a community that many feel is driving change faster than they can adjust to. But to understand why these feelings emerged, we need to step back and look at the bigger picture of Australia's immigration, housing, and economic pressures.
This is a moment that demands leadership. The Prime Minister must show that leadership now.
The August rally was not just a protest, it was the culmination of years of perceived strain, amplified by media, political rhetoric, and social media debates. Behind the noise of slogans, there were real anxieties, real financial pressure, and a sense of losing control over cities that had changed faster than many Australians felt prepared for. Australia has experienced record migration over the past decade. After the pandemic, temporary visas, skilled migration, and student visas surged, bringing in hundreds of thousands of people every year. The government set targets for economic growth, but these numbers often exceeded infrastructure capacity. Cities like Sydney and Melbourne faced unprecedented pressure on housing, transport, and public services. Locals noticed rents skyrocketing, waiting lists for apartments getting longer, and more competition for jobs.
Love migration, okay? I'm from a family of immigrants as well. The point is, how many you bring in the country? Where do you house them?
While most migrants arrived legally and worked hard to integrate, the scale of the influx made the situation feel overwhelming to some. Even when policies were designed to balance economic need with population growth, the perception on the ground was different. Many felt that their neighborhoods, schools, and workplaces were changing too quickly. This tension between policy goals and lived experience created fertile ground for frustration, which was then amplified by the voices at the August rally. Another point of tension that has surfaced in public debates and online discussions in Australia is the topic of hygiene and cultural perception. Some locals have voiced concerns about hygiene standards in shared housing, workplaces, and communal living spaces where migrants, including Indian students and workers, reside. Complaints range from cooking smells and food storage habits to differences in cleaning routines. This issue was notably amplified during the rallies of August 2025, where frustrations over housing affordability and infrastructure were often redirected into cultural critiques. For some protesters, the potent and unfamiliar aromas of Indian spices emanating from apartments or differing norms regarding waste disposal and shared kitchen cleanliness became tangible symbols of a broader cultural unease. These genuine grievances regarding communal living were often framed not as calls for mutual adaptation, but as evidence of an inherent incompatibility, fairly or unfairly depending on one's perspective, positioning Indian migrants as unwilling to adhere to local standards of public hygiene and social etiquette.
Are you racist?
Yeah, we're racist. Yeah, we're racist. Yes.
And why is that a good thing?
We're proud of who we are. We're proud of who we are as white men. We built this nation.
International students play a major role in Australia's universities, and Indian students make up one of the largest groups. As of mid-2024, there were around 118,000 Indian students enrolled in Australian institutions. Their tuition fees contribute billions to the economy and support local businesses, staff, and universities. But the rapid increase in student numbers has also created challenges, particularly around visa integrity. Some reports highlighted cases of non-genuine students, people enrolling in courses without intending to complete them, or using student visas primarily to work or migrate. In response, universities introduced stricter rules, and some colleges restricted applications from certain Indian states. The Department of Home Affairs also added monitoring and verification measures to maintain the integrity of the education system. Housing has become one of the most visible sources of tension in Australia's major cities. Rent prices have soared in recent years, and many people, especially young Australians, are forced into shared apartments or long waiting lists for affordable housing. This has created frustration, and some locals have pointed to the growing number of migrants, including Indian students and temporary workers, as part of the problem. Infrastructure across major cities has also been strained by rapid population growth. Public transport, hospitals, schools, and essential services are all feeling pressure. When communities experience congestion, overcrowding, or longer waiting times, it can feed resentment and amplify narratives that blame migrants for problems that are really structural. This combination of housing stress, job competition, and infrastructure strain has created a climate where economic challenges are sometimes interpreted through a cultural or ethnic lens, even though the reality is far more complex. Understanding these pressures helps explain why debates around migration and community tension have become so heated in Australia in recent years. Politics has played a major role in shaping public perception of immigration in Australia. Over the years, some politicians and smaller parties have recognized that immigration is an issue that resonates strongly with voters, especially when concerns about housing, jobs, and public services are high. Populist messages often frame migration as a problem that needs to be controlled or managed, using slogans and campaigns designed to evoke emotional responses rather than nuanced debate.
Oppression becomes law, then resistance becomes duty. Yeah!
In recent years, political rhetoric has sometimes singled out Indian migrants, particularly students and temporary workers. For example, some opposition MPs made statements suggesting that the rise in student visas from India was causing pressure on housing and job markets. These comments were widely reported and sparked public debate, with the Prime Minister and other leaders publicly condemning discriminatory language. The result was a heightened sense of scrutiny and tension, as communities felt both the effects of policy changes and the weight of political discourse. As tensions rise, it's clear that many Australians aren't just frustrated about numbers. They're frustrated about what they see as behaviors that clash with local norms. Some locals have voiced concerns about noise in shared housing, lack of respect for neighborhood rules, overcrowding in rental properties, and cultural misunderstandings in workplaces and public spaces. For Indian migrants and international students, small changes can go a long way in easing tensions. This can mean being more mindful of neighborhood expectations, communicating better with housemates and landlords, respecting local regulations, and integrating more actively into the community. On the other hand, locals must also be willing to move beyond stereotypes and recognize that not every migrant is the same. Many are simply trying to build a better future while contributing to Australia's workforce and economy. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next one.